Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Monday, June 9th, 2014. This is Proof Weight Loss Surgery Works, and I'm your Monday vlogger B. Now, this week's topic, which is down here, is all about eating slowly. Pardon me while I read it, and then we'll come back. It says, slow down. How do I manage eating slowly? Do you eat slow? Was this hard to learn and do? How do you eat slow? What are the benefits of eating slow? How long does it take you to eat an average meal? What happens if you eat too fast? Share any tips or lessons learned? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so, eating slow. You know, rather than tackle these one at a time, I'm just going to do it all in one big, broad discussion. You know, pardon me, my allergies are kicking, and I'm going to do that a lot. So let me try to barrel through this. You know, eating slow was probably very difficult for me to learn how to do. You know, you try to simulate it during your pre-op phase with the you know, the liquids and the mushy foods and the healthy stuff, and you know, there's really no way. Let me try. Oh, I'm backlit like crazy. Anyway, there's really no way to simulate this. It's one of those things you just have to learn, and you know, you can do. There's so many different things that you can do. You know, I've heard people count the number of chews that they do. They count for, you know, so many seconds. You know, and you got to kind of find something that works for you. You know, for me, it was really more about being able to understand the what and the why. You know, and sorry. And that really helped me kind of determine how long I needed to chew, how long it should take me to eat a particular item or a particular meal, if I was doing it too fast or too slow, which is also a possibility, and why. You know, and you know, the reason we eat slow, and I guess everybody's surgeon is going to tell you a different thing, but you know, when you're filling a pouch or a portion of your stomach that's about this big, you know, it's important to maximize the space, because you've got to try to get that nutritional content in. And, you know, it's the difference between putting, it's a good example here, marbles into a bag this big and putting, I don't know, sand in a bag this big. You're going to get a lot more sand in there because it takes up less space. It's smaller. And being able to maximize your space, especially when you have a very restrictive diet and a very restrictive amount of food that you can eat, is important, because you want to make sure you get your bang for your buck, so to speak, with every meal. You know, there are other reasons as well, and this has more to do with the fact that you need to chew a lot as opposed to eating slowly, but they are tied together. And that's the fact that, you know, when you're talking about, you know, a hole that's this big, sometimes smaller in some cases, that allows food to go into the lower portion of your stomach, you need smaller pieces of food. Something this big is not going to fit in a hole this big. Your body's going to have to work harder at it, and it's going to create problems later on down the road, because now you've got acid developing in places in your stomach where you normally don't have acid developing, and an erosion can occur. You know, and your stomach is a muscle in itself, and it's going to try to force that food in, and those are never good things. So it's important that we break our food down into smaller pieces, which is also part of eating slowly. But I think the main reason that we want to eat slowly is because the whole purpose of having weight loss surgery, and this is the restrictive portion of weight loss surgery. I'm not talking about the malabsorptive portion of weight loss surgery for those people who've had those type of surgeries, myself being a lab hand patient, and you folks that have a gastric sleeve, and even people with an RNY or a DS, you're all in the same boat. You have a restrictive portion, a smaller portion of your stomach, and the reason that works so successfully, and they explain this to you guys, I hope they explain this to you guys before you had surgery, is the nerves in your stomach, and this is the upper portion of your stomach, that tell your brain when you're full, sit at the top of your stomach. And you fill that up until those nerves are stimulated and your stomach says, hey, brain, stop eating, and you stop eating. Well, if you eat in a hurry, you put food in your stomach, you're taking a bite. What happens is, before your brain gets that message, or before you consciously process that message, you're still eating, and you've eaten too much. And now your food is in your esophagus, or even further, and that becomes very uncomfortable and painful in some cases, and it can cause some serious medical problems down the road. So it's important that we take a bite, and we stop and we think, am I full yet? No, I'm not full yet. And then you continue on eating. Now, I'm really sorry, guys. And that's important. One, to make sure that we're effectively using our tool. Two, because we don't want to have to go throw up in some public restroom or wherever you are. And three, we don't want to damage our bodies. We don't want to damage our journey. We don't want to sabotage ourselves before we get started or even further on down the road. There are many, many reasons that we eat slowly and we take care when we chew and swallow and digest food, and we make sure we do it properly. It's another reason we don't drink when we eat, and that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother week. But anyway, back to the subject. Me personally, it was a very difficult thing for me to learn how to do. And a lot of it was negative reinforcement. You know, I spent many times hanging over the toilet wishing I could just throw up. You know, peeing was something that I did many times before I learned just exactly how long I needed to chew and just how long I needed to wait between bites to make sure that I was getting that using my tool effectively. You know, a few things that I don't do. I never eat on the go. You know, if I'm walking around, if I'm on my feet at work, if I'm moving from A to B, if I'm actively doing something, if I can't sit in a chair and eat, I don't eat. And if the day doesn't let me sit down in a chair and eat, well, then I just wait till I get home and eat. And the other thing I don't do, and this was something that took me a long time to figure out, I do not, under any circumstances, eat in the car. Yeah, it's not safe, duh. But you also, again, tend to eat in a hurry. You don't pay attention to what you're doing. You're looking at traffic. You're looking at the girl in the car next to you or the guy in the car next to you. Or, you know, you're talking to somebody on the phone, or you're listening to the radio. You're paying attention to everything else except what you're eating. And that's bad. So that was a big one for me. I do not eat in the car at all under any circumstances if I'm driving. Now, if I'm not driving and I'm not paying attention to everything under the sun, then yeah, I'll eat in the car. And even then, you need to be very careful about it. And to this day, 4 years post-op, I'm very conscious when I'm in the vehicle and when I'm eating. So yeah, I think that's all I got on that subject this week because I'm running out of voice. Anyway, guys, I hope you got something out of this. Make sure you leave your comments down in the doobly-doo. Make sure you thumbs up. Don't thumbs down. Subscribe, tell your friends. Come back and see us tomorrow for another Proof Weight Loss Surgery Works video. Come back and see me, of course, on Monday for another Proof Weight Loss Surgery Works vlog. Have a wonderful week, guys, and take care.